Peace, everybody. What's good? It's the boy, Coach Malachi Williams, and you've been number 2 on the True Media Boxing Radio. Let's go.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
All right, everybody, check this out. Just checking out the news, checking the tea leaves. I do see now that Devin Haney has officially, he will be vacating his belts. From what I'm reading, from what I think Michael Benson said online, they showed the ESPN clip, ESPN sports clip on Twitter, actually on Twitter, and it's saying that, hey, man, Devin Haney officially will be dropping all of his belts, relinquishing his lightweight titles, once he, I think after the Regis Prograis fight. And, Devin Haney, I think that was a good thing he's doing. If he doesn't plan on going back to 135 anymore, it'll give a lot of those guys down at 135 an opportunity to fight for a belt. I just hope that, whatever belts that Devin Haney let go, because he's going to let go all of them, I hope the sanctioning bodies allow those guys who may be up to fight for the belt actually fight for the belt. Don't elevate anybody. You know what I mean? Because you elevate them, they're email champ. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. If you are a WBA Regis belt champion or WBO or WBC or IBF, whatever, IBF, what they call an intern champion, you don't want to be elevated. You want to fight for the belt. Because if you get elevated, you will be the email champion. You will become the email champ because you didn't fight for the belt. And I do know that people like to pick and choose when they like to, who they like to use email champ, like Jerron Boots Ennis, he's the email champ. You got mail. If you didn't fight for that belt and they gave it to you via mail, if you receive your belt via Amazon Prime delivery, guess what? You are an email champ. Simple as that. If you open up your email and then if the day before you wasn't a champion, but then you open up, check your email the next day and you see a belt in your email, guess what? You got mail. You are email champ. So hopefully those guys at 135 will let the sanctioning bodies know, hey, look, man, I want to fight for this belt. I do not want to be elevated. You understand what I'm saying? Now, some people think it's cool to be elevated. They like being elevated. They're the email champ. And ain't no way around that. Because if you say that Devin Haney was the email champ when he got elevated to the WBC title, then any fighter that gets elevated is the email champ, including Boots Ennis. You got mail, okay? Including Janabek, including any fighter. Janabek, Tim Tszyu, any fighter that got elevated to the title, you're an email champ. So I think that's a good thing that Devin Haney is doing. Devin also said, I don't know, it's a quote, but he said he's going to, once he become a 3-division world champion at 140, he wants to move up to 147. And you know what? There's really nothing up there at 147. I think once Spence and Crawford lead that division, which they will, I think they pretty much going to be out of it anyways. I fully expect Crawford to drop his belts as well, drop those other 3 belts. Since they already, since an IBF already stripped you of 1 belt after you only had it for 90 days because of a mandatory that was pressing when Errol Spence had the title and he didn't have to fight, his mandatory for years. So I get that. So just go ahead and drop the belts. And then another thing too, like fighters like Devin Haney, Crawford, hell, even the Canelos or whatever, I think sometimes once you reach a certain level, you are, some fighters may be above the belt at that point. There's no need of paying sanctioning fees. If I'm not mistaken, guys, I think that the fighters have to pay 3% of their gross to the sanctioning bodies. So, if you make $10 million or $5 million or $1 million, a fight, 3% go to the sanctioning bodies. And if you have 4 belts, that's 3% times 4. So you're talking about 12%. And, the fighters have to really, really look at that. Okay, man, listen, man, these sanctioning bodies, they're very, very shady at this point. All of them pretty much are shady. They do shady things, and, you got to, is it worth me, because you already made history. Devin Haney already made history. It is what it is. It's solidified. No one can take that away from him. He's in the history books. So I think he's doing the right thing by dropping the belts. There's no need of paying all that sanctioning fee money. There's no need. Start a new chapter. You're at 140. Now you're fighting Regis Prograis. I don't know how that fight is going to go down. I have I can see that fight going 2 ways. One way, Devin Haney winning, controlling the distance and pace with the jab, controlling the distance and range with the jab. You know what I mean? And then when they get in the clinch, when they get close, grabbing and holding the Regis Prograis, tying him up, making the referee break it up and reset. So that's how I see Devin Haney winning this fight. For Regis Prograis, he's going to have to make it a dog fight. If he makes it a fight instead of a boxing match, he's going to beat Devin. Now I know people saying, well, Devin Haney is big now, and he's going to stop Regis Prograis. I don't see that. He doesn't have the punch power like that to stop that dude. And he damn sure ain't knocking him out. So it is what it is. But you guys tell me, what do you think? You think Devin Haney is doing the right thing by dropping the belts? Especially if he's not going to come back down, and he's not going to get the Tank Davis fight. And then there's no need to hold it on the belt. Anyways, just drop the belts because you have officially moved up to 140. And who would you guys like to see fight for those titles? Because you have Tank Davis is the Regis belt champion, WBA Regis belt. I wonder if they're going to elevate him. If they elevate him, he's going to get clowned because he said that Devin Haney was an email champ. So if he get elevated because he's a Regis belt champion and they try to elevate him to the super, if I'm Tank, I refuse that because I'm going to clown you if you do get elevated. Because you can't clown a nigga for being elevated to a WBC and then you get elevated. I'm clowning anybody who get elevated to a title. I don't care who it is. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian. Don't make me no never mind. If you get elevated, you got mail. You are the email champ. No, never mind. Because you didn't fight nobody for it. So who you guys want to see fight for those titles? The WBC, Shakur Stevenson has the WBC title. He fought Edmund De Los Santos for that. And so now you're going to have the IBF that's going to be vacant. I have to look at the rankings and see who are in the rankings. Probably have number 1 and number 2 fight for it. The WBA, probably have Tank Davis fight somebody for the WBA Super. And you have the WBO. I don't know who's in the rankings. So we got to look at the rankings and see who is there and then have those guys fight for it. Hate, like, share, subscribe. See you guys today at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have a fire show. Sign up for the newsletter. It's going to be pinned to the bottom of the chat, and it's in the description below, and it's going to be pinned to the top of the chat. See you guys later on today, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know my motto, don't meet me there, beat me there. Peace. Whole problems dropping 2024.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.